Crumbs of Conversational Comfort, Part 1. We are experts at providing crumbs of comfort. This is because it is a necessary form of manipulation which has to be utilized as part of plate spinning activities. As a consequence of the differing fuel matrices which we create, we have a vested interest in keeping certain of our appliances in the game. Remember, we like to conserve our energy, so we have more available for the carrying out of our manipulations over different appliances, and therefore, at certain stages in the dynamic, we do not want to be forced to apply much or all of our energies towards one appliance, leaving us deficient in respect of the others. We want to keep several people in our fuel matrix because of the need for fuel, and also with one eye on what is ahead of us. When we first seduce our appliances, we invariably treat them to a banquet, a feast, a sumptuous meal at restaurant Narc. This is no drive-through quickie, no fizzy water and sandwich grabbed from a street vendor, but a bacchanalian indulgence of several courses with no expense spared, as we cause you to gorge on our largesse, our charm, and our illusion. Of course, this feast will vary dependent on the type of appliance that we have invited to dine with us, and in order of sumptuous extravagance, the pecking order is as follows. 1. Candidate IPSS. 2. Embedded IPSS. 3. Shelf IPSS. 4. Dirty Secret IPSS. 5. Non-intimate second resource, colleague or friend. Familial non-intimate secondary sources are already seduced by reason of familial connection. If they have been pushed out into the cold, and they must be brought back into the fold, they are treated as if they are a colleague or friend, non-intimate secondary source. Tertiary sources are given something delicious but quick to consume, and it does not matter whether they want more or not. The main thing is that they are given in the instance, and that works for us. Of those categories at 1 to 5 that I have described, the common thread is that they are all treated to a delicious, enticing, and magnificent feast which draws them in. It is all impressive, and gets more and more impressive as one climbs the rankings. This means that the recipients get used to the extent of this feast, how amazing it tastes, how delicious it feels to be at our table, and becoming full on such wonderful treats and delicacies. This is how we cultivate the addiction to us, by feeding you such sensational dishes that you keep wanting more. You become used to the sensation of being almost satiated, your senses brought to life by what we deliver, and you want to keep dining with us forever and a day. Of course, these delicacies which we send your way give the appearance of being fulfilling, but ultimately they are not. But you do not notice, and instead you want to keep tasting them, and therefore, once we decide that we no longer need to keep providing you with these feasts, we instead opt to give you the crumbs of comfort. These are little reminders of what you once had, to get the taste buds firing again, to cause the saliva to flow, to stimulate the memory of those amazing sensations so you want them all the more, and with each crumb you are conned into thinking that it will lead a trail to the groaning table of scintillating tastes once more. These crumbs of comfort are designed to keep you in the game, maintain your interest, stop you losing hope, ensure that you remain bound and loyal to us. Since they are crumbs, they are low maintenance for us, hardly taking any effort or energy at all. But since you are hooked on the taste from when we seduced you, once you allow one crumb to enter your mouth, the desire returns. The memories of delicious tastes and sensations loom large, and you want more. You are given another crumb, then another, just enough to keep you from looking elsewhere, and just enough to ensure you remain interested in us. The rise of technology has really caused the conversational comfort crumbs to come into their own. Whilst they can be offered on the telephone or in person, that tends to result in the narcissist being placed under more pressure, and their control is eroded to some extent. Instead, most comfort crumbs will be provided through text message, through email, or social media message. This allows the narcissist to retain control, compose an appropriate message, and it is easier to sneak out a comfort crumb via text than speak with the relevant appliance in certain scenarios. How, then, might these comfort crumbs operate with the 5 categories of appliance that I have already mentioned? Let us begin with the non-intimate secondary source, a colleague or a friend. The comfort crumbs for this category do not need to be used extensively because the level of expectation is not as high. The colleague or friend will only engage with the narcissist periodically, and therefore, if the narcissist perceives that there is a risk that the relevant non-intimate secondary source is drifting, he can throw out a few conversational crumbs and shortly thereafter deliver the meal again. Delivery of this meal, namely time with the narcissist, is not a major expenditure of energy, since it may just be an evening every month or so. The non-intimate secondary source does not make extensive demands, and therefore all the narcissist needs to do is send a message such as, "Not caught up for a while. Let's have lunch next week. Hey, not heard from you in a while. How do you fancy a game of squash a week on Thursday? How are you doing? We need to catch up over drinks. Pretty bombed until the 25th. How does that suit you? 7 p.m, yes? We haven't talked about your promotion prospects recently. Let's have a breakfast meeting beginning of next month. Please arrange with my secretary. We should look at new marketing opportunities. How about we do so over lunch in a fortnight?" Note that there is the fixing of the meal in the future, and this crumb of comfort letting the appliance know the narcissist still values them. This crumb will draw a fueled response, keep the appliance interested, and the narcissist does not have to expend much energy through the crumb nor the eventual meal. The dirty secret, intimate partner, secondary source. The dirty secret may be content to hold this position, or may be content for the time being with an expectancy of being brought forward in the narcissist world to meet friends, be seen with the narcissist in public, meet family, and so forth. The dirty secret provides frequent bursts of fuel through clandestine meetings with the narcissist, and therefore the narcissist will find maintenance of this element of the fuel matrix reasonably easy, because it is a short notice demand to meet at a hotel, in a car park, in a bar, and the time involved will not be extensive. Nevertheless, if the narcissist is occupied with other appliances in his fuel matrix, usually the intimate partner primary source, but possibly an intimate partner secondary source and non-intimate secondary sources, and therefore is not able to meet up with the dirty secret, he does not want them going off the boil, and therefore he will ensure that he or she is kept interested with Comfort Crumbs. For instance, messages will be sent like these. Last time was amazing. I don't know how you do it. Cannot wait for the next time. We have to meet soon. I am going crazy without you. When we next meet, I am going to treat you to an afternoon at that new hotel we were speaking about. Things are hectic at the moment, but I am trying to get things boxed off so we can have, at last, an overnight stay together, just as I promised. Note how we are enthusiastic about the dirty secret, praising them, stating how they deserve to be treated well or given more time. But also note that there is no commitment to when this will happen. This is because the demands of the dirty secret are greater than the non-intimate secondary source, and given that infidelity is taking place, the ability to commit is not as clear-cut. The Comfort Crumbs will be thrown around more liberally to entice the dirty secret, but there will not be any commitment with regard to when the meal will take place. Part 2 of this video addresses the shelf intimate partner secondary source, the embedded intimate partner primary source, and also the candidate intimate partner secondary source.